Has anyone else found that audio nirvana where the imaging is so solid you could walk right into it? Everything is so holographic that you could diagram it in CAD, only to find that after spending a month with the system, the magic seems to fade. Your money is spent and you're left clamoring for more. More of the same? Who's to blame here? The outrageous manufacturers spending a small fortune to make audio look better than it sounds? Or the high-end audio enthusiasts falling into the rabbit hole? Let's explore this a little bit. The placebo effect exists in all things around us, so just for the record, this is not a condition restricted to the audio industry. The usual explanation for the placebo effect is that it comes down to expectations. People are generally unwilling to accept that their brains are capable of being faulty. After all, they sense a change in the audio, so it must be accurate and audible to them. I don't blame them, guys, as it is hard to admit that our senses are fallible. I'm a huge proponent of putting education before sales. I feel that if the consumer is well informed, they have a better chance of making the right purchase decision, and this is a massive benefit to the manufacturers, since many audio enthusiasts out there will stick with the same brand if they can establish the framework that would inevitably lead, to a long-lasting relationship. How do you build that relationship? Transparency. Transparency is the most crucial characteristic a company can have, followed by performance, and this all kind of rolls into value. Value doesn't always have to do with the product alone. The entire experience from start to in your listening area is under the umbrella of value. As a reviewer, I love dealing with manufacturers that communicate well, are transparent about their products and willing to talk to me about it, and deliver an enjoyable experience. Since you, the consumer, are actually paying for the goods rather than me who is renting them, value is even more critical for you. How does all of this tie in with the placebo effect? You might be wondering at this point, since I've been rambling on. Well, there are a few situations you might encounter when you enter the world of high-end audio. Just as an aside, many people don't spend thousands of dollars on their sound systems and are perfectly happy with the results of a, let's say, sub $1,000 system. And I'm completely cool and behind that. I believe that your subjectivity when it comes to the enjoyment of your system is within your sphere and your ears, and only you can determine if an upgrade has enough of an audible improvement to warrant the purchase. But I digress. So, if you're into high-end audio and manage to stumble into a hi-fi store, you might discover their sales tactics to be a tad bit suspicious, and the overall experience can be stressful. You may leave the store wondering whether they pulled one over on you. That's not what you want. That's not what you want to feel when making a significant purchase in your life, regardless of your financial situation. Especially since you have to live with this stuff for quite some time. I'll be releasing a video revealing sales strategies some of these salespeople use to condition you to believe that what they are saying is gospel. Sometimes they might even trick your brain into believing what they are telling you to hear or look out for is actually happening. But alas, it's the placebo effect playing games with your brain. But that's for a whole nother video. Perhaps later in the week, to follow up with this one, since it kind of goes together. There is a way to figure out what you are experiencing, if what you are experiencing is, in fact, the placebo effect with high-end audio, or any audio for that matter. I chose to single out high-end audio because, as most of you may know, many manufacturers are posturing as high-end, but deliver nothing but wood. You don't want to get wood. Suppose you can do a double-blind test, which is when you and the person conducting the test are completely unaware of what you're evaluating until it's finished and you've formulated your opinions. In that case, this is the best way to do it since there aren't any chances of biases or corrupting the test or anything like that. But if you are with someone you can trust with your life, then a single blind test usually is sufficient to figure things out and know in your heart and mind that what you chose is what you prefer. And don't be surprised if what you decided on was entirely not what you expected. I love these tests personally because sometimes I surprise myself because of biases. Well, another way to debunk the placebo effect is to perform objective measurements. It's a great way to sift through products that tout a tremendous sonic improvement, even though I believe that you need subjective listening to complement the objective measurements. Because I have had products measure extremely well and just sound completely dreadful. So keep that in mind. So off topic a bit, but still kind of on track, I stumbled upon a quote by Ken Rockwell. He's huge in the industry. He once wrote, "Audiophiles don't have the experience or education to understand what matters. The skill of the original recording engineer, the choice of loudspeakers, their placement in a room, and the acoustics of that room. Audiophiles spend fortunes on the wrong things, which are the high profit margin and well advertised items like cables, power conditioners, amplifiers, power cables, connectors, resistors, and just about everything that has almost nothing to do with the quality of reproduced music, but makes loads of money for the people selling these fetishes." Don't kill the messenger. This is just what I read. I don't necessarily agree 100% with that statement and sentiment because I feel that there are plenty of components and modifications you can introduce into your system that could change the sonic signature in a way that is, more pleasing for your particular ears. I'd love to hear your opinions on what Ken said in the comments below and whether I should even invite him, go the distance and invite him on one of my Hi-Fi Hour segments to discuss this further. Possibly. However, many audiophiles out in the ether of hi-fi have an unhealthy and borderline addictive character towards the constant betterment of their system. Not sure if this is a good or a bad thing, but I can almost guarantee they are convincing themselves that they hear an insurmountable audible improvement in even the most incomprehensible tweaks they purchase. Oddly enough, the reason overpriced audiophile placebo products work is often caused by their price. The more you pay for something that does nothing, the more it works. Of course, this has been long known by luxury brands that go through great lengths to prevent old stock from being dumped at lower prices. All of this would be more in the realm of expectation bias. I almost feel like the more outlandish the claim, the more likely the placebo effect is to have a more significant influence on the consumer. Now, the expectation bias is simple. I'll give you a solid example that, it'll be simple. If you're upgrading to a $10,000 amplifier from, let's say, a $2,000 amplifier, there's an expectation that the new unit will perform better because of the considerably higher price. Let's just disregard the specs, the higher price. Even if there is no difference sonically, the placebo effect kicks in and tells your brain that you hear a difference because you expect it to be so. However, the placebo effect is everywhere, at every price level, with every kind of technology. The difference is the degree of what's going on. Every aspect of audiophilia is susceptible to cognitive biases, and anyone who says otherwise is deluding themselves. The best advice I can offer is to do your due diligence before falling victim to the placebo effect or having someone convince you otherwise. Music is art, and art is powerful. Music is the reason we all want the best possible sound. You can lose yourself in a trance of thought and memory while listening to music. So you want it to sound as pleasing to your ears as possible. Remember to listen to your music with your gear and not listen to your gear using music as a conduit. Don't obsess about having the best of anything. If you're rich, then by all means, get whatever you want. But if you're like most human society and live with a budget in mind, you can't go off impulse or convince yourself that spending an extra $50 or $100 will make a Herculean improvement in your listening experience. I really do hope this helps, guys, because I do care about you, my audience, because you are consuming my content. So thank you all for joining me. If you are already subscribed, thank you. I have an online shop where I sell audio inspired t-shirts. This is my newest one. It's the 40th anniversary CD t-shirt. Really stoked about it. It does help the channel, so I encourage you to check it out, maybe buy some stuff or offer ideas for future designs. If you are new to Audio Architects and you like it so far, I encourage you to check out some of my other videos to see if my channel is the right fit for you. And I would love for you to hit that thumbs up if you liked the video and end up subscribing and joining me on my voyage in hi-fi. Remember, subscribing to this channel will automatically enhance your system soundstage and provide you with the best possible sound quality. Don't lose yourselves, guys. Stay reasonable, and as always, trust those ears. Thank you for spending some time with me. We'll see you soon.